Welcome back to the channel. It seems like everybody's enjoyed the Subaru content, so here's 5 things I hate about my Subaru WRX STI. For starters, one of the things I hate about my Subaru is starting it in the morning when I have to leave for work early. This becomes a problem, not for me. I think it sounds great when it's got a nice, throaty, cold start to it, but really it's for my neighbors. I live in a place with a HOA. Hopefully one day I don't, but for now, it's pretty terrible. I always worry that one of my weird neighbors is going to call the cops on me, or I'm going to wind up on the next door neighborhood app like, who's the guy with the car that starts up every morning? It's always so loud. And like I said, it's not an issue for me, but I don't want the people around me to be mad. I know about little kids, I know about having kids, and it's just, all you need is for one person to just wake your kid up from a nap when you just really need 10 minutes of them asleep and not being annoying to really get you through your day. Next on our list, we're back in the interior. I don't know if you guys have ever driven a Subaru before, but it doesn't have the same, je ne sais quoi as something like a Volkswagen. This thing is a rattle box. I promise every single time I drive this car, there's a new rattle. I'm always somewhere. I'm touching here, touching there. I'm always looking for different things. I'm like, what is it, the can I have? Is it my window? It's just always something with this car. I don't know where it's coming from. I'm gonna have to take out some interior panels eventually to redo the stereo system because I think it might be up in one of the tweeters, and it's just frustrating because after you put your hand on everything and it's still rattling and you're just like, it's coming from inside the dash. Like, how does that happen? How does it come from inside the dashboard? Everything should be mounted neatly and nicely, but it's somewhere in there, and it's just a bummer. Yeah, take that, Nissan Sentra. Another thing that can get annoying over time is just the anxiety of driving a WRX in the United States. Donut Media did have their high-low, but they also had a series where they went through every single state and talked about the most ticketed car. And wouldn't you believe it that the WRX was at almost the top of their list with 3 or 4 different states having these as the most ticketed car. Now, I have a few things in my favor. My car's not red, but it does have this big fancy wing on it. So every time I'm near a police officer, I just assume they're like, look at that guy with the big wing on his car. He must drive it like a nutcase, and I should probably keep an eye on him. Said another just a me-ism. But that gets really frustrating because I don't want a ticket. There's nothing worse than a long day and you get pulled over and it's like, hey, I heard you had a long day at work and you were doing 7 miles an hour over the speed limit. Here's a $250 ticket. By the way, your monthly insurance is going to go up. So really it's like a $500 ticket that you're just going to eat over time. But man, does this car sound good. To keep things going, another thing I really don't like about this car is the exhaust. It sounds great and it sounds elegant. I know I talked about it earlier, but man, I really wish it was stock. It would just give me a better starting point than trying to find a stock downpipe. I know I've reached out to a few people. I'm still looking. I'm trying not to spend over $500 on the thing, but from the dealer new is like $3,500. And to go with that, I would want I think it's Grimspeed. They make a spacer where you can connect your stock downpipe to a 3-inch catback, which would be great and perfect, but that spacer is also another $75. So on the high end of things, I'm at, almost $3,500 or $3,600, and on the low end of things, I'm still at about $600 because I'm sure there's someone out there who's like, I don't want to just give away this downpipe for free. And then I'm sure there's somebody else who's like, I'm actually trying to make a living off selling these. So he probably bought it for $500 and wants to resell it for $1,000. Got to make a profit somewhere. And then when it gets to the axle back, I'm also not that super crazy about it. Right now, it looks like I have 2 Hot Boy cannons out the back of my car, and I really want to upgrade to a Cobb exhaust. Currently it's an NVIDIA. I'm not sure if it's the R400 or whatever fancy NVIDIA thing they make it is, but it says NVIDIA on it, so I assume it's worthwhile. But I would really like to have the Cobb exhaust where it's got the 4 exhaust ports. It looks very similar to stock. I think that would just give it more of an elegant, timely look, and just kind of fills out the gap. Because currently, I'll show you a picture and give you some exhaust noises. These were those cannons I was talking about. I just have 2 giant hot boy cannons down here. And if you look hard enough, you can tell that they're not equal. But, I mean, they are NVIDIA, so they are nice, and they do sound great, but I just really would prefer those 4 tips that are nice and elegant and look close to stock. Currently, the gap is just really significant. I'm really not happy with it, and every time I look at it, it's kind of a little bit off. I know it's kind of just a stickler for detail, but I wouldn't want somebody else to see it and be like, wow, what is this? Does he know that this isn't on here right? And it's like, it is. It's just kind of the way it sits naturally. All right, and the number one thing I can't stand about this car, the biggest elephant in the room that you can't hear right now, is the infotainment center. This thing is awful. You have to download the Subaru Starlink app to get it to connect so you can use your navigation on here. And then it just has a handful of features that are just bad. Like, there's an app on here, AHA, that I've never even heard of. Like, what? This car is made in 2018, and my Volkswagen has Apple CarPlay in it, which is a 2019, and that works perfectly fine. I don't know why Subaru had to stray from the course and make their own user interface in this, but it's just awful. And I know, it's a race car, it's a sports car. You don't need an infotainment center. It's like, well, once again, dude, I daily drive this. Like, this is my everyday. I just wish there was a better way to use this. I mean, getting away from the interface, the speakers in this are also terrible. I mean, to hear anything like a podcast over my exhaust, it has to be almost cranked to, I usually keep it between 45 and 50, just driving around, because I want to be able to hear what's in the background if it's a 20-30 minute drive. But, you know, I just also just want to hear the exhaust. So it's really a mix. Like, it's off right now and it's working great because it's off. I mean, it's not hard to use, it's not complicated to use, it's just not good. It's like, why have an Apple phone over an Android phone? It's just better. There's no getting around it. It's more just different products are more user friendly and are less complicated and have things you're actually going to use on here. Like, it has Sirius XM and Pandora, but it's just hard to use, and there's no getting around that. That is just clunky and hard to use. Like I was saying, it's not hard to use, but what is this? What is this? A Pandora, it does work. I will give it that Pandora works, and it is very quick to get started. But this Subaru Starlink, it's like, I'm already down the street. I'm already on my way. Like, this just does not work. Oh, loading. Okay, so now I have to disconnect the mobile device and install. Like, what? You know, what if I had a flip phone? What if I had anything else other than, you know, an iPhone? It's like, what do I need stocks for? Why are there stocks on here? So now do I have to download another app? Please select a stock. Like, this doesn't, I don't know. What's another stock name? This is what I'm saying. Like, it's not terrible. Like, it does its job, but it's just way more difficult than it needs to be. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I'm super happy to have you here. We'll have a follow-up video where there's 5 or 10 things that I love about my Subaru WRX STI. But I just want to make it clear, I don't hate this car. I love this car, but with all the love, there is some drawbacks and there's some hate. And these are all things that I can correct on my own. The number one thing, that head unit, that can go. That's really easy to change, which will come in due time, but we'll get there when we get there. But make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Super glad to have you here. And if there's anything you want to see on the channel, let me know. We can get to 1,000 subscribers, and we'll do a upgrade of your choice. Just write down in the comments what you would love to see. And if we get to those 1,000 subscribers by the end of January, we'll do that upgrade. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.